Very good morning and Jai Hind children. Welcome to chemistry class. So children, as we know that we have completed all the course of chemistry. We have completed the last chapter of the chemistry. So today we are going to start with the revision of this chapter, that is chapter number 3, Fiber to Fabric. Okay. So for that, please open your book, open your science book, open this chapter, chapter number 3, Fiber to Fabric. So today we are going to revise this chapter, Fiber to Fabric. So please open your book, just turn the pages and try to revise the chapter. Just turn over the pages so that you can recall what was there in the chapter. So be ready children with your pencil and your science book. Okay. I hope now everybody is ready. So children, as the name says, fiber to fabric. So we have to convert fiber into fabric, isn't it? So we have to convert fiber to fabric. So to convert fiber into fabric, the very important thing is that to know what is fiber, what is fabric, and how fiber is converted into fabric. Okay. So we know that if we take a piece of a cloth, if we take a small piece of a cloth and we take out a thread out of it, so we know that that thread is twisted. Yes. So first we should know what is the difference between fibers, yarns and fabric. Okay. What is the difference between fiber, yarns and fabrics? So fiber, when you take a piece of a cloth and you take out a thread out of it, that thread, single thread is twisted and it is spun. Okay. So, and again if you take out a single thread out of that, that is called fiber. That is called fiber. So, fiber is the thinnest thread material. Fiber is thinnest material, that is called fiber. Thinnest thread is called fiber. Now when these threads are spun together or twisted together, they form yarn. What they form? They form yarn. And when these yarns are weaved in a hand loom or a power loom, they are collected together to form a fabric. And then these fabrics are stitched and we can wear the clothes. Okay. So, fiber makes yarn and yarn make fabric. Repeat after me. Fibers makes yarns and yarns make fabric. So, fiber is the thinnest thread. When these threads are twisted, they form yarn, and when these yarns are weaved together, they form fabric. Okay. So, fibers makes yarns and yarns make fabric, and then these fabrics are stitched to make a cloth. Okay. So, fiber makes yarns and yarns make fabric. Repeat after me children. Fiber makes yarn and yarn make fabric. Okay. So, this was the very important thing. Now we will see, now I am going to share the PPT and we will see that what are the topics that are included in this chapter, and we are not going into much detail of this chapter. We will only see the gist of this chapter. Okay. So now I am going to share a PPT with you and we will revise this chapter. Okay. So till then, please open your book and just turn over your pages and see what is there in this chapter. Okay. So this is chapter number 3, Fiber to Fabric. We are going to do the revision of this chapter. Okay. So chapter 3, Fiber to Fabric. These are the topics that are included in this chapter, that is clothing material, their history, like we have to know the history of clothing material, how it came into existence. Then types of cloth material, how many types of cloth materials are there. Then fiber and its type, cotton and its production, wool and its production, silk and its production, and jute and its production, and synthetic fiber. So all these topics are included in this chapter: clothing material, types of cloth material, fibers and its type, and all these productions. So we are going to see it one by one. I'll just quickly revise all these topics with you. Okay. So let's start with the first one, that is clothing material or history. So children, we know that what is the history behind clothing. Earlier in the ancient time, we know that there were no machines, there were no needle, there were no thread. Okay. और अगर ये सारी चीज़ें नहीं हैं तो how can a cloth be made? So earlier what used to happen, these early man, they used to wear or they used to protect their body with the help of a leaf. Okay, there were no clothes, there were no fabrics, there were no fiber. So बहुत पहले तो लोग कुछ पहनते ही नहीं थे, but slowly and gradually they started to protect their body with the help of leaves and jute and the pikes. Okay, so they started to protect their body, okay, and cover it with certain things that were naturally available to them. Okay, but slowly and gradually, as the modernization increased, as machinery came into existence, as needle came into existence, as fiber came into existence, the people started to make a cloth and convert it into a beautiful clothing and wear it. Okay, and then came into existence like saris and lungi and different materials. Okay, so this was a small history about how clothing came into existence. Now children, the very important thing is why there is a necessity to wear a cloth, like why we wear clothes. So the first very important thing why we wear clothes is to protect our body. To protect our body from whom? To protect our body from weather like strong sunlight, extreme cold, heat and rain. So to protect our body from sunlight, cold, heat, rain, we wear clothes. Okay, and also to protect our body from insects, we wear clothes. Okay, and the last thing, let's to look smart and to cover our body, we wear clothes. Okay, so the main basic important thing is why we wear clothes is to protect our body against strong sunlight, cold, heat and rain. So this was a small introduction about this history of clothing. Moving ahead with the next topic, that is types of cloth material. So children, now we know that there are different types of cloth material that we wear. Okay, like in summer we wear different types of clothes, in winter we wear different types of clothes, for rainy season we have different material, for other things we have a different material. Okay, so cotton, so these are the different types of main materials, that is cotton. So cotton is light and it is smooth, isn't it? Cottons are light and smooth and it also absorbs sweat. Okay, so we wear cotton clothes in summer. We wear cotton clothes in summer. Why? Because cotton clothes are very soft, it can absorb sweat and it allows the air to pass through it. And because it is allowing the air to pass through it, during summer season, when we are feeling very hot, the air passes to the cloth and our body maintains the temperature. That is why we wear cotton clothes in summer. Getting my point? Now, next we have is wool. So how does wool feel? What is the texture of wool? So wool is fluffy in nature and we know it is very soft. Yes, and we wear woolen clothes in winter season. So in winter we wear woolen clothes. Why we wear woolen clothes in winter? Because the woolen clothes traps the heat or traps the air and keeps our body warm. That is why we wear woolen clothes in winter. Okay. Then silk. So how does silk look like? Silk is very shiny, it has a luster and it is very smooth. Yes. Basically, saris are made from silk. Okay. So silk is also a material. Then we have a synthetic cloth. So apart from these, we also have some synthetic cloths. So synthetic cloths are basically very light, strong and smooth. And nowadays, various clothing materials are made from a synthetic cloth. Okay. Apart from these materials, we also have jute. Though we don't wear the cloth of jute, हम कपड़े नहीं पहनते हैं जूट के, because it is very rough and it is if we wear a jute material, our body will have a rashes. So we don't wear a jute, but it is so strong that it is used to carry the heavy goods. Okay, like rucksack is made from jute, purse is made from a jute. Okay, so all these things are made from jute material. So jute is very strong material. Okay, so these are the different types of clothing material. We can also see this in the chapter. So now I am going to share the chapter with you. Yes. So clothing material history, this we have gone through. So this we have studied. I am not going into much detail of it. Now coming to the types of cloth material. So we have different types of cloth material as cotton, wool, silk, synthetic clothes, jute. Alright. So all these are types of cloth material. We know that cotton is light and smooth, wool is fluffy, silk is smooth and shiny, synthetic clothes are light and smooth, jute is rough. So these are the different types of cloth material. Okay. Now coming on to fibers. So children, we can see that the thinner strand of thread is a fiber. Okay. And when we twist or when we spun the fiber, it forms a yarn. And these yarns are converted into fabrics. So we can see here that fibers are made up of yarns and yarns are made up of fibers. Sorry, fabrics are made up of yarns and yarns are made up of fibers. Again, I am repeating it. Fibers makes yarns and yarns make fabric. Fibers makes yarn and yarns make fabric. Okay. So children, in this chapter, we have to study about different types of fibers. Okay. In this chapter, basically we are focusing about different types of fibers. So fibers are of two types. What are they? Natural fibers and synthetic fibers. So we have two different types of fibers, that is natural fiber and synthetic fiber. Okay. As the name says, natural. So these fibers are obtained from nature. These fibers are obtained from nature, and nature includes plants and animals. Nature includes plants and animals. So what are natural fibers? So fibers that are obtained from either plant or animal is called a natural fiber. Getting it? तो natural fiber क्या होता है? the fibers that are obtained from plants and animals are called natural fiber. What is synthetic fiber? It is just opposite of a natural fiber. So the fibers that are obtained chemically, that are manufactured with the help of chemicals, basically petroleum, is called synthetic fiber. Okay? अगर प्लांट और एनिमल से हमें कोई चीज मिल रही है तो इट इज कॉल्ड नेचुरल फाइबर. इफ वी आर गेटिंग इट बाय यूजिंग अ केमिकल, it is called synthetic or artificial fiber. Okay, let's see. So natural fibers are obtained from plants and animals. So from plant we get cotton and jute. From plant we get cotton and jute. From animals we get wool and silk. Okay. So this will, I'll talk about it later in detail. So basically children, cotton is obtained from cotton plant. Jute is also obtained from a plant. Whereas wool, we get wool from fleece of sheep, and silk from the silkworm. Okay. So they both are animal. So that is why the wool and silk are animal fibers, whereas cotton and jute, because they are obtained from plants, they are called plant fibers. Getting it? And synthetic fibers are made from other materials, mainly petroleum. Okay. So in addition we also have leather and fur. So certain materials are made from leather and fur also. So fibers are of two types, natural and synthetic. Natural fibers are either obtained from plant or animals. Okay, synthetic fibers are made from petroleum. Okay, so now we are basically children, this chapter we have to talk about the natural fibers. So we have 4 different types of natural fibers, that is cotton, jute, silk and wool. So there are 4 different types of natural fibers. We have to study all these 4 natural fibers in detail. Okay. So we have to study all these natural fibers in detail. So let's see the types of cloth material we have seen. So these are the types of cloth material. Then what is fiber and its type? So here are the definition of fiber, yarns and fabric. Okay. Then we have types of fibers. So there are 2 types of fibers, natural fiber and synthetic fiber. We know that natural fibers are obtained from plants and animals, for example cotton and jute, and silk and wool. Synthetic fibers are made from a material mainly petroleum. So example of synthetic fiber is nylon, rayon, polyester. These are synthetic fibers. Okay. So now we will study about all these natural fibers one by one. We will see how they are manufactured, how they are produced. Okay. So let's start with the first one, that is cotton. How cotton fabrics are made. Okay. So children, you can see the figure here. So with the help of a diagram, I am just trying to explain you this process, that is how cotton fabrics are made. So we know that children, cotton is a plant fiber. Yes. So it will be obtained from a cotton plant. So here in the figure you can see a cotton plant. This is a cotton plant, and this white fluffy type of a ball is called a cotton boll. This is called cotton boll. Okay, so this is a cotton plant. Getting it? These plants are basically obtained in a black soil and alluvial soil. Okay, these plants are present in black soil or alluvial soil. Okay. Now these cotton bolls, these white cotton bolls are containing a seed. They have a seed in it. Okay. So now we are going to remove the seed from these cotton bolls, and the process of removal of seed is called ginning. What it is called? Ginning. हम seed को गिन गिन के अलग कर रहे हैं. So the process is called ginning. This is a process to learn. Okay. So now first we have taken the cotton bolls from cotton plant. Then we will remove the seed from the cotton bolls, and the process is known as ginning. Then it is spun. Okay. आप लोग ने कभी बत्ती बनाई है? That we use in Diwali, जब हम दिया लगाते हैं, then we use cotton yarn. Yes. तो हम क्या करते हैं? We spun it like this. We take a cotton ball, we put it in our hand and we spun it. Yes. Now what we are doing? Here we are forming a yarn. Okay. So these fibers are twisted together to form a yarn. So now when these fibers are converted into yarn, the process is called spinning. क्या बोलते हैं process को? Spinning. Now this process can either be done with the help of a hand, or we can use certain instrument to do it. So what are the instruments? We can either use a hand spindle or we can use a charkha. Okay. So first we have a cotton plant. We take out a cotton bolls from it. Then we remove a seed out of it. The process is called ginning. And when these ginning process is completed, we spun it. The process is called spinning. Spinning can be done by the two methods, either by hand spindle or by charkha. Okay. Now when these yarns are made, the bunch of yarns is shifted to the loom, either a power loom or a hand loom. Power loom, the machinery basically works with the help of electricity, but in a hand loom, people weave it with the help of a hand. Okay. So here we have a power loom where you can see different yarns are clubbed together to form a fabric. Okay. So this is a process called weaving. So here what is happening? These yarns are clubbed together, they are binded together to form a fabric, and then these fabrics are dyed. Dyed का मतलब होता है dye करते हैं हम उसको. Dye करने का मतलब होता है we color it according to our choice. Okay. तो हम उसको color करते हैं and then we get a beautiful clothes to wear. Then it is being stitched and we get a beautiful clothes. So this is the complete process how we get a cotton fabric. Okay. I am again repeating it once again. Please listen to me very carefully, children. So first we take a cotton plant. We take out a cotton ball from it. From that cotton ball, we'll remove the seed. The process is called ginning. Then this cotton is spun. The process is called spinning, and yarn is formed. This process can either be done with the help of a hand spindle or charkha. Okay. But we also have a certain machinery to convert it into a yarn. Okay. Now these yarns are clubbed together in a hand loom or a power loom where it is converted into fabric, and then this fabric is dyed and stitched to make a cloth. Okay. Now let's see what is written in the chapter. Let's see what is written in this chapter. Okay. So we have talked about types of cloth. Coming on to cotton. So what is the texture of cotton? Cotton is soft. Yes. And it is obtained from cotton plant. Cotton plant consists of a fruit called cotton bolls. So they consist of a fruit called cotton bolls that I have shown you. Okay. So they are basically found in a black soil or alluvial soil. Okay. Now cotton is basically sown between May and September in different parts of the country. Harvesting begins from October. Okay. So these are the cotton plant, these are the cotton bolls. Okay. The process we have talked about is, first is ginning. Ginning में क्या होता है? We remove the seed from the cotton plant. Yes, we remove the seed from cotton plant. So this is called ginning. Yes, let's see what is written. So cotton ball bursts open after maturing. One can see the seed covered with the cotton. Now that fiber, the seed is being separated. Separation of seed is called ginning. Okay, so this process is called ginning. Now then we have a second step, that is spinning. Spinning is the process of making yarn from the fiber. So either it is done with the help of a hand spindle, which is also called takli, and with the help of a wheel or a charkha. Okay. Nowadays machines are also used. Then after the yarn is made, the process is gone for weaving. Okay. Now the weaving is done in a loom. Okay. Either a hand loom or a power loom. Okay. Now then the cotton cloth is made. So what is the main property of cotton? It absorbs sweat. So the cloth that lets air in is said to be breathed, like it breathes. So we can wear the cotton clothes in summer. Okay. So this was about the cotton. Children, please go through this chapter whenever you are, please start reading this chapter once before going through the question answers. So this was about a chapter. This was about the cotton. Okay. Then we also have manufacture and production of wool, silk and jute and also synthetic fibers. Okay. So let's see. So by this process cotton is made. Then we have how wool is made. So here we have a sheep. So the removal of fleece, like the outer covering or the fur or the fleece of sheep is removed with the help of a cutter or something like that. It is not a very brutal process. जैसे हम लोग अपने हेयर कट करते हैं, नेल्स कट करते हैं, वैसे ही sheep की body से these fleece is taken out. It is not painful. Okay, so fleece is taken out, then it is transported to mill where it is washed again and again to make it hard, and then this process, this machinery is used to convert it into a yarn. Okay, now it is converted into a yarn, and the wool that the woolen ball that we see in woolen season, जो हमारी mother or grandmother or somewhere in your house जब sweater बनाते हैं, so we see a woolen balls. Okay, that is called a woolen yarn. Okay, so this we'll talk about tomorrow. In the tomorrow's class we'll continue with this wool, silk, jute material and all these processes. So children, please read this chapter once. If you come across any kind of doubt till cotton, okay, so you can ask in the group. Okay, so that's all for today's class. Thank you and Jai Hind children.